Good afternoon, everyone. I'm very happy to be here at Vivatech with two distinguished guests. I'm very happy to welcome on the KPMG stand so Jean Koumaros, CEO of Bleu, also Hugues Foulon, CEO of Orange Cyberdefense. And we are going to talk about digital trust. As you know, as the cloud usages are skyrocketing. We have cyber threats which are intensifying. Also, regulation tightening. The quest for digital trust can feel like a Sisyphean task. Just to remember, Sisyphus was a figure from the Greek mythology which has been tasked by the gods to climb a boulder up a hill, and the boulder was endlessly falling down. And so it is going to represent the quest for digital trust. This is the question we are trying to answer. Or will we at least see a digital world where we can work in confidence? That's what we are going to debate today. Maybe just to start with, can you remind us the respective activities of your company? Start with Jean. What is Bleu doing actually?
So Bleu is a French cloud provider. It's a subsidiary. It's a JV between the Orange Group and the Capgemini Group. And we offer Microsoft services, Microsoft Azure, Microsoft 365 in a trusted cloud environment.
Okay, thank you. Hugues?
And so Orange Cyberdefense, we are providing cybersecurity services to companies. We have 50,000 customers worldwide, mainly in Europe, but worldwide. And we have 3,500 cyber experts within Orange Cyberdefense. And we are bringing services to all kinds of customers, from big, mid to small B2B players all over Europe. We are a leader in France, we are a leader in Belgium, we are a leader in Sweden, a challenger in Germany, a challenger in the UK. And we are going quite fast. We just announced we have launched our Spanish subsidiary in Madrid a few weeks ago.
Impressive. Just to start, as I was going through the Vivatech stands, we hear a lot about sovereignty. This is a word that can be used with several meanings. It has been debated over the past 10 years, not only in the digital world, but Jean, what is your definition of sovereignty? Can we talk about sovereignty? Is it something that can be reached?
So first, I think you're right. There are as many definitions of digital sovereignty as people. You know, everybody has their own definition of this. I think overall it comes down to three things. The first one is cybersecurity. And I think there's no way you can claim sovereignty if you don't have cybersecurity as the bedrock of your setup. You know, I mean, we all heard about the cyber attack on INTS recently. It wasn't done by an organized group of a foreign country. It was done by a 15-year-old college boy, and it was done on the back of poor cybersecurity protection rules and systems. So I think number one in sovereignty is cybersecurity. And then the second thing is what we call data sovereignty. And data sovereignty basically is ensuring that your data will remain in the EU and that they will be protected against extraterritorial laws, okay? Because a dozen countries have extraterritorial laws, and using those laws, they can basically obtain your data, including your sensitive data, in a legal way, just by requesting them. And if you are a sensitive player, you cannot afford to see your sensitive data unprotected against extraterritorial laws. So that's the second thing, data sovereignty. And the third thing which is the increasing concern that we hear in Europe today, is resilience. Resilience in the sense that you are able to maintain your digital dependence at an acceptable level. And if you are not protected against the kill switch, I think your technological dependence is not at an acceptable level. So you need to be protected against a kill switch to ensure digital resilience. Maybe one last word. I think digital resilience is a big topic these days, and I think it's been caricatured quite a bit. And I think a lot of people are mixing up digital resilience with digital autarky. And I think digital autarky doesn't exist. I think it is neither possible nor advisable. I think digital resilience is mainly keeping your dependence at an acceptable level. So that's what I would say about digital sovereignty.
Okay, great. Thank you. Hugues, do you share, of course, cybersecurity is the number one?
So thank you, Jean. So I cannot say more than the cybersecurity is a bedrock, and without cybersecurity, you cannot build trust, and then it's very difficult to have some sovereign solutions. So, of course, cybersecurity, and this is an endless task, endless challenge, is something we need to provide, keeping in mind that depending on the customers, especially the size of the customers, cybersecurity is not given. If you are an SMB in Europe, how to secure my work, my IT, my factory, this is not something which is obvious for them. So we need to help them to understand before regulation, what does it mean, what is at stake, and what can Orange Cyber Defense bring to them.
Okay. But a point I would like to say, how to ensure this trusted cloud when of course, you hear all the critics about cloud. Most of the technological bricks rely on foreign components or components that have been built by foreign players. How do you ensure the trust, although these components are present in your solution?
So I don't think it's correct to say that all the components come from outside the EU, but some of the components come from outside the EU. It can be the hardware, it can be the software. And I think there is no cloud provider in Europe today who can claim that they are fully made in the EU. None of them. And then the question is, what I was saying before, is your dependence vis-à-vis non-EU provider, is it kept at an acceptable level or not? And again, acceptable level mean you are not under the threat of the kill switch. Kill switch is basically, I have a non-EU provider and they have the power to stop my services just by deciding so. And it's very important, if you want to be a sovereign cloud provider, that you can ensure that your customers will have service continuity and resilience, and that you can ensure them that your service will continue running whatever happens. And we all heard the Anthropic story last weekend, so we see that the kill switch is not just theoretical, it can exist. And you need to make sure that your customers will not suffer from such a scenario. As far as Bleu is concerned, we can ensure that our customers are not under that threat, because yes, we rely on non-EU technology. We offer Microsoft technologies, Microsoft solutions, but those solutions, they are operated on our infrastructure, operated by our people, exclusively in Europe. The data centers are in Europe. The data remains in Europe. And so there would be no possibility to basically switch us off.
Okay, even in a worst-case scenario of a cyber war attack by countries which are providing these components.
So, kill switch, not possible. We have the infrastructure, we operate the technology, nobody can stop us. I mean, you can turn the light off, and we are protected against that as well, but apart from that, there's no scenario to turn us off. Then the point that you're making is what could happen is at some point we have to work without the updates from our technology partner. And so we are working actively to ensure that even in that scenario, we can ensure resilience and continuity of service for our customers. And that's the case.
Okay, great. And in cybersecurity, also you rely on external extraterritorial components. How do you ensure the risk level is acceptable, as Jean was mentioning, ensuring the defense of our digital world against these threats coming from the outside?
So this is a good question, but for years, for decades, we are relying on US-based expertise. So, during the past 10, 20 years, European players didn't invest enough to build a worldwide champion on cybersecurity. This is unfortunate, but this is the case, and we won't change this reality overnight. And by the way, it starts with the cyber threat intelligence. So how the threat is evolving, how we could anticipate the threat, and we are investing a lot in this within Orange Cyber Defense. We have more than 500 sources of knowledge to fuel our data lakes and what's happening on the threat landscape. But this one is almost controlled by US players. So if US is saying to us, don't care anymore about Russia, but let's focus about China, it will hurt us because European players need to see what's happening in Russia and in Ukraine. So it starts with the threat and with the anticipation phase, but also on the protection phase, on the detection phase, we are relying more or less 80 to 90% on US players. So all of them, Microsoft, Palo Alto, Fortinet, Cisco, and others, that's killer, are all US-based company. So it is the way the market is shaped today. Our role as European players at Orange Group is to promote local, national, or pan-European players, but honestly, they are quite small today. So it's maybe more niche players on different topics. You don't have one with a huge platform doing everything, like the one I just noted. But we are promoting them, we are financing them, we are trying to propose such solution to our customers to promote more trusted solution, or maybe sovereign one. But trust is beginning with what Jean was saying, knowing what you are buying and what are the consequences of your action. So this is the first step of the trust. And then you can move from trust to sovereignty if you want to have a full and 100% European-based solution, which is not the case today.
And Jean, do you also think that Europe should strive at developing local or European solutions in order to lower the dependence on foreign solutions? Is that a prerequisite? Is it attainable? Is it possible that Europe catch up?
So I think Europe should do it, definitely. I think Europe should invest as much as possible in lowering the dependence vis-à-vis the US, vis-à-vis Asia, and we're not investing enough today. Definitely, Europe should do it. Now, in the meantime, companies, administrations need to continue running. So the immediate question is, how can we continue using some technology which is not made in the EU in a way in which we are protected, in a way where our data are protected, in a way where our resilience is ensured, and that's basically what we are trying to do with the Blue Cloud.
Right. And when we see the organization, often we hear that there's of course, a balance between the performance, the scalability, the cost also that non-trusted solution can propose. Do you think that this trusted is not in good balance within the decisions of companies, and what do you tell the companies to convince them to invest more in the trusted solutions, more in terms of cost, of course, because the solutions are more expensive, but they are also a bit less performant, a bit less scalable. It provides less flexibility. So there's a trade-off. How do you feel your clients are feeling today, and what do you tell them to convince them?
So look, I think 10 years ago, the sovereignty criteria, the sovereignty factor did not exist. So it was a context of full openness. So you would take whatever technology, wherever it came from, just based on cost and effectiveness. I think in the past 10 years, it has shifted quite a bit. I think sovereignty has become a criteria and a factor. We've even seen cases where it's become the only factor, so people will use sovereignty as the only criteria, ignoring others like effectiveness, like cost, like security also, because sometimes sovereignty doesn't rely on good security. So I think the balance is evolving quite a bit. I think today sovereignty is at the right level. I think it's become a very important criteria for public administrations, but also for large corporations. I think what we should avoid, as I said before, is mixing up sovereignty with digital autarky. I think if we want only technology which is fully made in the EU, we will miss a lot of opportunities.
And again, so it's also because the cost of technological dependency and the cost of the kill switch probability was not taken into account in the past. So it was given that we were able to access to every kind of solutions at a decent price. This is not anymore the case. So we can talk about the price, and we can talk about the disponibility of such or such solution. And again, what happened few days ago is a good example of our dependency. So if you factor this, then the cost of the sovereignty is not exactly the same on a relative basis. So and people are thinking more and more. So honestly, on cybersecurity, our key customers are not changing so much their habits today. But since the past year and a half, since Trump, they are talking more and more about this. They are asking us alternatives. They are doing workshop on sovereignty, which was not the case before. So the awareness of sovereignty issues is increasing quite fast.
And are the budget also following? We know that many corporates are under economic pressure. So and also within the IT department, IT budgets, the cost of some solutions are increasing significantly, and so the amounts of investment dedicated to digital trust, to security, is that enough, or do you think the company are taking too much risk at the moment?
So again, depending on different verticals, what is the size or the maturity of the company? So the answer is not exactly the same, but. So you have an economical pressure worldwide, or at least on a general basis. The cybersecurity market used to grow at 12%. Now it's growing between 7 and 8. So this is still a decent growth, but we have lost 3 to 4 points of growth in the past 2 years. So it's quite significant. So it's mean, and it illustrates the slowdown of the growth, because also in the same time, companies are investing in AI and should prepare their roadmap to invest in quantum transition. So it's a lot of to do, and it is the case for Orange, by the way. So we are still massively investing in cybersecurity to increase our level of protection and to be more and more independent or trusted or sovereign, depending on the topics. But this is something which is really important. Such a roadmap is really key for our customers. But again, when you are talking to the Cake 40 players, you don't have absolutely not have the same discussion that with a small SMB in region. You need to adapt the way you proceed and the way you go to market with them to propose alternative and decent solution which are affordable for them.
So I think we will see more and more trusted solution and sovereign solution like Bleu. How do you see the future, Jean, in the cloud market, which was 10 years or 5 years ago largely dominated more than 70% by US player? How do you see this market evolving in the coming years, in 5 years from now?
So the number is this one. So as we speak today, the cloud market in Europe is dominated by US players or non-European players, and they own 70% plus of the market, which is huge. I think it was sized to more than 200 billion euros of spendings into US solutions. I think over the coming 5 to 10 years, we will see market shares rebalancing between non-European and European players. My assumption is that in 5 to 10 years from now, we will move from a 70-30 split of the market to a 50-50% split of the market between non-EU and EU players. So there's a lot of room for growth for European cloud providers, and I think the same applies to European software providers.
Okay, so that's a good avenue of growth for yourself. And Hugues, maybe talking about the future, what are the main threats that are ahead of us, just to have a look at
in cybersecurity, we are talking about AI in the morning, AI for lunch, and AI for dinner. So this is really the game changer in our industry. You have heard about Mythos topic last week, and again in Europe, only none of them have experienced Mythos. So it's really reserved for the 40 companies, US-based part of the Glasswing program, and Anthropic was able to open this to 150 worldwide companies outside of the US. And then, given what happened with Fable 5 on Mythos last week, they shut down the program Friday evening, beginning of Saturday. So this is really the key topic is AI, and trying to hope that this defense tool won't be transformed as a weapon. And AI is really a completely switch for us, because it will give scale, automation, and real-time operations. So it's really a question of speed and acceleration in the market that should give us a chance to compete with attackers. Otherwise, attackers will be always ahead of us.
Yeah, it's a race. I see the time flowing. Session for Q&A, I think. Sir? If you can say your name and your organization. And
Mohamed Ramzan, Formafast Consulting, based in Morocco. I'm asking about the Cloud Act and the Cloud Act closer. For the information that is took from the data centers that contains American products, and if you have American products deployed in your data centers as AWS, so everything that is the data that is in the data center has no there is no sovereignty about this information. So what about this situation? Thank you.
So with all due respect, I think this is not correct. I think having US technology running in a company doesn't make the Cloud Act applicable to you. And if it was the case, every single company in Europe would be under the Cloud Act, which is not the case. For the Cloud Act to apply, there are very specific rules, okay? you need to operate in the US market, you need to have a US parent company, you need to have US customers, you need to have a number of criteria. Using US technology is not one of those criteria. Thank God. So believe me, Bleu, we have studied the topic inside out. Yes, we propose Microsoft solution. No, we are not under the Cloud Act. The Cloud Act doesn't apply to us, and I can certify that absolutely.
And this is certified by Secnum Cloud.
It is indeed.
Yeah, that's why Microsoft is one of your partners, but not at all a shareholder in your company. That's why
Correct.
the Cloud Act doesn't apply.
If Microsoft was a shareholder above a certain threshold, then the Cloud Act could apply to us. But, or if I had a subsidiary in the US, and I was fully operational in the US, as the text says, it could apply to us. As we are today, it doesn't apply.
Thank you. Someone else, another question from the audience? No? Maybe just to finish, we saw a movie that maybe opened up our eyes about cyber threats. Is this happening today? Is it a pure fiction? Is it going to take place? Or are you there to protect us?
Yes. The movie is called Don't Go to the Police, which is easy to watch on YouTube for free. And it's a real case. So it's not a fiction, it's not a promotion movie, this is a real case. Try to explain what could happen to a small to mid-sized company and what are the consequences of such an attack. This is really a movie about cybersecurity awareness and try to increase the knowledge about what could happen and what are the consequences for such players.
So I saw the movie, I was invited by OCD, and it's tremendous, don't miss it.
Thank you, Jean.
Thank you. Okay, I think this closes our session. Many thanks.
Thank you.
Many thanks, Jean.
Thank you.